summer. Welcome back to Party Trick Astrology. I'm Nina.
I'm Shaina.
And this is your Venus in Virgo.
Yes. So, what is Virgo? It's an earth sign.
It's an earth sign.
Mutable.
It's mutable. It is the Virgin.
With hui.
Don't want that for you though. And it's ruled by Mercury.
And it rules the stomach. And
it rules the sixth house.
Yes. And if you are a Venus in Virgo, doesn't necessarily mean you're a Virgo sun, but you could be. You could also be a Libra sun, Scorpio, Leo, or Cancer. And Venus is how you attract people, and we've been saying your peacock feathers.
Yeah.
How you show up. How you
It's like, this is what is valuable in relationships. So it's what you show off, it's what you look for, it's what you value in a person, and it's how you express your love. Now
Venus is considered exalted by astrologers in Pisces, which means that they consider it the kind of happiest place.
Optimal placement.
So opposite to Pisces is Virgo. So Venus is not happy in Virgo, and I think we both agree on this.
It's in its fall. I think many people with Venus and Virgo would say that they agree with this.
Yes. Now, what I think of is Virgo and Venus as peacock feathers are like, I'm insecure, so I want to change you. My insecurity's my peacock feather. No.
But they might pry on insecurities. You would assume that a Virgo is like, if you really take it from a very basic knowledge of sun signs, you're like, they're nitpicky. They're gonna want to go for someone who's perfect and responsible, but that's actually not the case, because Virgo is a hard worker, hard-working sign. So it loves a challenge. It loves someone that they can groom.
Fix, change,
make better.
Yeah, here's what I'm thinking. So this is kind of how I think of a Venus and Virgo. So Venus and Capricorn, we said, is going to make a list of like, this is what I want. And they're going to be big things, like must be in this career field, must make money, must do this. Venus and Virgo probably doesn't, unless house placements, doesn't really care about that. What they're going to say is like, can't wear backwards hats, can't have a mole, has to work out. Like, it's very weirdly superficial in their nitpickiness. Like, their hard no's aren't gonna be like, this person's a deadbeat. They're gonna be like, ooh, a deadbeat, but they have good hygiene. That's for me. Let me just fix them up.
Oh, he has a drug problem? I am the major anti-drug. Yeah. I will clean him right up.
They're prone to fixing people, and I think this comes because I think of Venus and Virgo as one of the most like insecure placements, honestly, because they want them to be perfect. Like, they really want nothing but perfection for themselves, and they have such high standards for themselves, and they want to present the best that they can, and they usually are people with very good hygiene, cleanliness, and smart, and right? They really want to show off their intellect. They want themselves to be the best that they can be. They see every little bit of their flaws. Yeah. And they really will get themselves down on, I'm not this, 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 right? And because they can pick out their own flaws, they can also pick out everybody else's. And like, if what they don't like about themselves is like, oh,
is reflected in the other person, and they care a lot.
Yes.
And they are very action-oriented and like tangible things. So it's like, if they see someone with the flaw that they see reflected back in themselves, they're more likely to want to fix that person than to fix themselves, you know? Because it's more tangible. It's more like, I can do this. Yes. I can fix the other person. I'm kind of a mess, but I can fix the other person. Yeah. And it's not always like Venus and Virgo is dating a deadbeat and they turn them into a workout maniac. It can be less obvious than that. Yeah. It can be that Venus in Virgo doesn't like the way, like, really loves someone. That's the thing, is that you're with a Venus in Virgo who loves you. They really love you, but they're telling you that they don't like the way that you wear your hair. And not only that they don't like the way that you wear your hair, but the way you wear your hair is wrong, because the way you wear your hair makes you come off more childish, and you need to be more like a woman. And it's like kind of everything is your fault, you know?
The other person's fault.
Yeah. The Venus and Virgo's partner everything is kind of their fault, and they need to do better, you know? If I'm complaining like, no one ever takes me seriously, I'm just treated like a little kid all the time, and I'm with a Venus and Virgo partner, they'll be like, well, you wear your hair like that, and you look like a little girl. You need to change your hair in order to ever be taken seriously, and we should go to the gym.
Yeah, but these people are also about like self-improvement, definitely.
Yes.
They're very attracted to people's mind, people's intellect, people that like stimulate them in that sense. And because it's in their fall, and you think of Venus in Pisces as all like love is this magical, not tangible thing, and it's just in the air. Venus in Virgo probably is like, love is this. Love is like, they are very structured in the way that they think about love. And love isn't something you feel. Love is something that you actively do. Love is something that you wake up in the morning and go, okay, because this person is this, this, and this, I should love them. Therefore, I love them. They're not just like, what is this crazy feeling? Oh, no. They're like, logic tells me this is love. I will choose to love them today.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to go and explore like a Venus and Sagittarius. They don't want to do all these romantic things. They don't need flowers or this and that. They want to just do the day to day with the person.
Oh yeah, that's
they kind of like from a Venus Sagittarius, a very bland kind of day to day. They just want to have you part of their routine.
Yeah, they don't necessarily dream about walking down the aisle. Like, they can dream about walking down the aisle to you, but they're not really dreaming about like taking their honeymoon. They're dreaming of like, oh, the day when I wake up and I can make him breakfast.
Yes, absolutely. Because Virgo is the servant.
Yeah.
Right? So they really serve the person. Like, if you are like, I don't know if my Venus and Virgo partner loves me. They don't show me all this affection. They don't tell me how great I am. If they cook for you, clean for you, in
Shop
bed,
for you.
they're very giving towards you. Like, that's how they show that they love you.
Yeah.
It's through acts of service. And they might not, it depends on like what their love language is or whatever, but like the way that they show love is acts of service. And they can really, I think, get drained by a partner if they go with somebody who takes too much.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Which they can do. They
Yes.
can easily go for someone who takes too much.
Yeah, in fact, they're probably more likely to go for somebody, because like if they get given a lot, they're like, I can't be given this, I have to give. Like, there's somebody who's going to go out with their partner and pay for their meal. It can get draining for anybody.
Yes.
Especially if you're like a Libra with a Venus in Virgo, you will probably change yourself for them, change your personality for them, and just like serve them all the time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Going back to what Shaina was saying about like, to a Venus and Virgo, XYZ equals love.
Yeah, it's like a formula.
Now, let's take that into today's dating culture.
Right.
Venus and Virgo definitely has a much more traditional mindset on what love is. Venus and Virgo can't really fathom things like friends with benefits necessarily, because, I mean, maybe friends with benefits, but if Venus and Virgo like someone, they plan on building that relationship.
Yeah.
There's nothing casual about it. Even if it's like, oh, we are just seeing each other casually, but also he's the only person I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And
I'm slowly
I can
working my
really,
way in there.
I can really think of us being together for a long time, and he held my hand. So it's like that, like, he held my hand means this is a relationship,
Yes.
you know? Whereas not every sign thinks that way.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, and this is like another I know I keep on bringing up, I don't mean to bring up like my sign, but I'm thinking like Venus and Sagittarius or like Venus and Pisces, like these don't go well with Venus and Virgo. So what might happen is if you get involved, like one of those two signs will probably say I love you very quickly, because Venus and Pisces is like, whoo, I love you, and the Venus and Sagittarius is like, I love you, you know? And if Venus and Virgo is like, they said I love you, therefore we're like boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, you know what I mean? And to the other person it's like, whoa, we didn't say that, but a Venus in Virgo is like, no, love, like relationships equals I love you, you know?
Yeah, so if you hold a Virgo's hand and then say that you started seeing someone else and that you want to break things off, they will get into a tailspin of like, okay, well, where were
what
the
did
signs?
I do wrong?
Where were the signs?
Yeah.
How did this happen? Because they can get so analytical.
Crazy.
They can talk circles and circles about the same thing, trying to figure out what it is, when at the end of the day, it's just like, you are two different people
and your
you love
personalities don't match. Yeah, they just won't accept that the problem in a relationship is like, you're just two people who don't match.
Yeah, because they okay.
They're like, well, I can change myself to match, and you can too.
You can end that sentence as, they won't accept the problems, period.
Yeah.
You know? Because there is no problem a Venus and Virgo can't fix, right?
Yeah. I think it's pretty safe to say that these are people that are just kind of insecure in their beauty. You know, they're never gonna really be quite happy with the way that they look. And these, like, I know some Venus and Virgos that I think are stunning, or like they have other things in their chart. Like I know one specifically, and she's a Libra rising, like she's so beautiful. But I think that, and I don't know her personally enough, but like a Venus and Virgo will just never be satisfied with themselves. And I don't think they'll also ever really be satisfied with their partner. And I think that for a Venus and Virgo to be successful is, you kind of have to be okay with that. You have to learn, okay, so there's nobody that's perfect. And I think that's really hard. You can't be perfect, and nobody is perfect. Nobody's going to be perfect for you. No relationship is perfect. And so you kind of have to have that mentality. If you wake up, and it's fine to think, today I choose to love this person. But you also have to say, today I choose to love this person for their flaws as well as their positive things.
Or today I choose to love myself.
Yes.
Or like, I am where I need to be at this moment. That's a big thing for Venus and Virgo, because the Virgo sign is all about like, it's so on all the time. It's ruled by Mercury. It's always thinking. So it's always nitpicking and seeing where they can do better. Seeing where things can run smoother. These are definitely the stage managers of
right.
Zodiac. You know, just like what can be better, what can be faster,
On
what
top
can
of
be
it,
more efficient. And that's their way in love, and that's their way in their view of themselves, their self-confidence, their own beauty. So they're always thinking, what's wrong? How can I fix it? So for just one day to say, I am right where I need to be at this moment is the best thing to hear, because at the end of the day, if you were perfect, how would you function?
Why would you live? Like, there's no, you know? And also, I think Venus and Virgo is the kind of person to really be really be totally into self-improvement. So I think that they're the kind of people that say the mantras of like, I love myself, I'm great, whatever it is, to themselves constantly, but it's like,
because they want to
feel that way, but it takes a while for them to believe it, if they ever do. So a lot of times it might feel like they're just saying these, if they're trying to get better, right? They're just saying these empty things a lot, and but
they're thinking, the self-help books said that if you just keep saying it, you'll believe it.
Yeah.
So,
but it's hard for them to actually give into that and believe it.
Yeah. Gifts that Venus and Virgo might give their partner are definitely self-help books, gym memberships.
Yes.
Like class pass.
Yeah. Getting in shape together, doing some kind of physical activity together, or like taking class together to
cooking
get smarter.
Together.
Yeah, that's kind of the things you want to do. The way you want to spend fun time with your partner is probably somehow you're also improving yourself and the other person. You know what I mean? You're not just going to want to have fun for the sake of having fun. You're like, I will only have fun if I get this benefit for it, this improvement for it kind of situation.
And that goes also back kind of to their love language of, doing things for people, acts of service. And that can also come from their insecurity, because act of service isn't really the typical love language. You'd think physical touch or words of affirmation, I think, are like the ones that people are like, this is love for sure.
Yeah.
But Virgo Venus is a little insecure, so it's a little shy with how, like, expressing love with opening up.
It's scary. It's an earth sign, so it's not always the funnest thing to express emotion.
Yeah, that's why it's more of the little things. It's more of the actions then really pouring your heart out, because it's very vulnerable to just like pour your heart out in that way to express love.
Yeah.
And Venus and Virgo can be just a little insecure, a little more shy.
Yeah, and they're not ones, unless their Mercury placement's different, I wouldn't say they're ones that have like flowery language or anything. Like if they tell you they love you, they're like, I love you. You know, again, it might change depending on their Mercury. Venus and Virgo, I don't think they're either the person that's going to go after the person or stay back. You know what I mean? I feel like they almost like fall into relationships a lot.
This is what I think.
Because it's mutable.
I think they set themselves up for the happening. They set themselves up to be in a position to be in a relationship with someone. They're not necessarily like, hey, want to go on a date? And they're not necessarily like being flocked to like, hey, let's
do
like come on. It's more like they spot someone. They're like, I see potential. That's a big thing. Is like potential.
They're attracted to potential.
Yeah. I see potential in this person. I'm just going to be around them as much as possible. Yeah. Maybe they don't have a car. I can drive them to work.
Acts of service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe there's this casual party that we will both be at. But yeah, I think they set themselves up to spend time with the person so that in like a shy, subtle way, they kind of integrate themselves into the relationship. It's pretty strategic, I think.
Yes, yeah. Especially if you're a Scorpio with a Venus and Virgo, that like manipulative kind of, gonna be here at this time and gonna do this at this time. It's not mutable where you think the other mutable signs where it's kind of that like flipping, flopping, but it's more mutable of like, this can be worked out, this can be flowed and switched to the right direction. They're not really somebody who, if they're with a partner, they're not going to necessarily have a wandering eye. It doesn't say yes or no. I don't think it says like, you're not going to see Venus and Virgo and go, this person's a cheater, this person's not a cheater. I don't think it kind of shows itself to either of those things.
I think Venus and Virgo is definitely really prone to building relationships though.
Yeah.
And not getting out of relationships, but maybe at the same time that doesn't mean that they don't have a wandering eye.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they don't have like a primary partner and then they're building some other kind of relationship with someone else.
What I'm trying to say is it's mutable in a different way than the other signs. It's mutable in that they always, I feel like, are like, we can make this work. Even if it's like at its very end, they're like, you just need to work harder. I just need to work harder. These people, I think, are somebody who can really take on the responsibility of a relationship. Like, they feel like they have to work for both parties. I don't think they see the give and the take. They just see, like, we're both putting in 100. We're not putting in 50-50. I expect us both to put in 100.
And if we do that, that must work because, and then you're like, well, maybe you guys aren't compatible. Right? Maybe there's another, maybe you should let it go. What? No, I can fix anything.
Yeah. And I also think that if you're somebody who is, you know, maybe has Libra influence because of Venus and Virgo, you're going to talk to your friends about your relationship a lot and really analyze it with them.
Yes.
And ask for every little bit of information you can get out of these people and what they think and how to fix it and how to do this and how to do that.
They will recount every single detail of like,
the little things that don't matter. He looked at me this way. Does that mean this? No!
And it's not even just like, so he looked at me this way. Does that mean this? It's like, wow, that's a really small detail. I wonder why you're bringing it up. It'll be like, okay, so that morning I made breakfast and I used oat milk instead of almond milk. That was the first thing. And what he said was, this tastes different, but I kind of like it. Later that, and just like go through the entire day to like, and then he went to the bathroom and he came back and one of his buttons was unbuttoned.
Ooh, yeah, like somebody who like maybe doesn't have clean eyebrows, doesn't do their hair perfectly coiffed, like they're not going to be attracted to that. And they're going to be find it very unattractive. If you eat gross, oh my god. Like even me, Venus in the 6th house, right? I once was like, oh yeah, I like this person. And then they ate gross and it was messy and I was like, that's fucking disgusting. I don't like them anymore. And like, it's totally like, I think a Venus and Virgo thing to do. Yeah, I think that is it for our Venus and Virgo video.
Yes, hopefully you enjoy.
These are like Venus roasts. I think we
yeah.
labeled them the wrong way. All Venus signs kind of suck.
Yeah. No such thing as an exaltation.
No, I don't believe that.
But there is such thing as a fall.
Yeah, they're all in their fall. Anyways, we'll see you next in our Venus and Leo video.
Woot woot.
Very different direction. So goodbye.
Bye.